from Hunter x Hunter is arguably the most intriguing and best power system I've ever seen in all of anime. Right next to chakra and mana in my opinion, it was so well explained and executed, and at that was advanced. Where each character had their own way of using it in their own unique way made it feel very special, with someone being in the same category is way different from each other, like Killua and Hisoka's abilities for example. With his bungee jumping technique that can be used in unique ways with the properties of gum and rubber, and then with Killua has his lightning techniques that can be used in many unique ways like speeding himself up, shocking others and so on, that are way different, which is the beauty of Hunter x Hunter's amazing power system, making each character very unique of their own. The Nen power system is very well done, with it being 6 categories being an enhancer, emitter, manipulator, conjurer, transmuter, and specialist. And with every category depends on what you're born with, the desires and environments that they grew up in. Some are already gifted from birth and some had to train very hard to achieve it where they are now. They can even push themselves through strict conditions where they're willing to die for the cost of more power, whether this is unconsciously or intentionally. Unlike Chakra, where if you can gain a pair of eyes from a dead man and all of a sudden you can use a Hakususano, or just straight up being Ninja Jesus. Hunter x Hunter has a more better power system, with it being very well explained and executed better in my opinion, where it doesn't have that nonsense where it messed up the chakra system with all those ass pulls it had. But what I can say for both shows is the training to get to the point where they are now still took them lots of effort and achieve, which I respect. Now for the Nen users, they have nodes sort of like how we see chakra points inside Naruto that has their energy flow through them, and unlike Naruto with chakra natures and releases, Hunter x Hunter is a little different, with it being Nen types and 4 fundamentals with enhancing abilities that help the users. For just about any Nen user except specialists that I'll get in a little later, learning the Nen type further is away on the Nen diagram with the most hardest, while learning other ones closest is going to be easier. It being 100% potential for the Nen type that they're born with, while the other percentages can vary. For example, Killua is a transmuter and he eventually learned the enhancer and conjurer types down the line, but something like a manipulator type is a lot harder to learn because it's further away, and the chances of being a specialist is 0 to 1% depending on certain Nen types. It's a good thing to learn other Nen types to help develop of their original Nen type better. It's also said to only practice 1 Nen type per day. I also love how they use that water deviation to determine what Nen type they had. We're kind of like Kakashi's special chakra induction paper to determine what chakra nature you had based on how the paper behaved. Like for example, his paper wrinkled. Yeah, Naruto definitely did not copy a lot of stuff from Hunter x Hunter. I'll just say that for another day. Now to go back to Nen, for a conjurer, impurities appear in the water. For an emitter, the color of the water changes, and for an enhancer, the volume of the water changes. For a manipulator, the water moves, and for a transmuter, the flavor of the water changes if you taste it. And for specialists, other things will happen, like for P2, the leaf dried up. I also love how the Nen types and personalities correlate with each other, like the conjurers were edgy and systematic like Kurapika. They're going by strict conditions to get strong and try to beat the Phantom Troop for killing his clan, aka the OG Magic Red Eye clan. He could make real objects made out of his own aura, like his chain, and under strict conditions could even make it unbreakable. Now for the emitters, they're impatient and impulsive like Leorio, who punched Jing out of anger, which I don't blame him, he's a half-ass dad anyway, so I mean, he low-key kinda deserved that. With his abilities, he can shoot out his aura like bullets using tin, while also being proficient in it. For the enhancers, they are simple and determined, like Gon when he was dead on set waiting for P2 to finish healing Kamugi so he could beat his or her ass. I don't know what to call him, to be honest, because P2 is a female in the anime while being a male in the manga, which is kind of bizarre. But anyways, going back, Gon knew what he wanted and wasn't taking no for an answer. With enhancement, he can improve the natural abilities of his body and objects, but being an enhancer is the most well-rounded of them all, and can deliver powerful attacks like the Jajenkin. If I pronounced that right, I'm probably butchering that, I'm sorry. Now for the manipulators are rational and do things at their own pace, like Illumini was keeping an eye on Kurapika while at the hunter's exams and kept tracking them from a distance after the exams. The transmuters are whimsical liars like Hisoka who like to play with their opponents by lying to them and such. With transmuters, they can take the properties of real objects like Hisoka can manipulate his nin to have characteristics of bungee gum and rubber. Some don't take after objects like Killua's electric shock and even use enhances attack power and speeds as I mentioned earlier. And finally, specialists are rare users who don't belong in other categories. With being a specialist, they get to access all types of nin with unique abilities and is usually independent and charismatic like Corello. He usually acted so calm and cool and collected, and he took care of stuff he needed for the most part. His personality made him a great leader for the Phantom Troop overall, and his special ability was to steal your techniques just like someone would know. Now, people like Kurapika who had special training and by his special bloodlines with the Scarlet Eyes was able to become a specialist with Emperor Time activated, who was originally a conjurer. But someone like Neferpitu was born a specialist from the start, and so was Neon, who was able to unconsciously write the future of a certain person after receiving specific info about them, because of her ability called Lovely Ghostwriter that manifested unconsciously. Now, in order to hone Nin, you have to train these 4 fundamentals uses other Nin, Ten, Zets, Ren, and Hats. So Ten or wraparound is the most basic technique. They're basically just concentrating aura around the body. This was strengthening and reducing the aging process over time. Zets are suppressors when they stop the flow and then to completely conceal the aura nodes to suppress the person's presence or recover from being fatigued. This can make the person hard to detect, but at the cost of being completely vulnerable to the enemy's nin attacks. Now for Renner practice is to improve the flow of aura. With this technique it generates more nin than normal while keeping it from flowing away. This brings out the utmost potential to make them even stronger while training. And the last one is Hats or release. It's a technique of freely releasing aura refined by nin. This is seen with techniques like Dejaken from Gon or Hisoka's bungee gum. With practicing Ten and Ren, it can help a nin user learn Hats. This is also nin applications to enhance the abilities like Yo, En, Shu, En, Ko, Ken, and Ru, if I'm pronouncing that right. En or Conceal is basically Zets that hides the nin aura almost completely. This is only used when an opponent doesn't know they're using nin. Shu or Encircle is Ten applied to cover objects in aura. It can enhance the sharpness of a sword and even used on bullets that will alter their trajectories. Inner Circle is Ren and Ten combined to perform to expand around the body, creating a radar for them. If it's mastered by pros, it can reach up to 50 meters or 150 foot radius. There are some people like Zeno, who's a special exception, who can reach 300 meters or 900 feet, and Neferpitu within regular shape end, like a cloud with tendrils, that can reach up to several kilometers. Koahara is an advanced technique that takes up all the 4 fundamentals of Ten, Zets, Ren, and Hats to concentrate all the aura in the body to one point to attack or defend. Zets completely stops the flow from the other parts of the body. This makes the user completely vulnerable in other areas while making it strengthening in one spot. Ken or Firm is a defensive technique where the user maintains Ren over the entire body. This is comparable to Ko, except it covers the whole entire body instead of making it weaker, making it more better for fighting multiple opponents, making them less vulnerable on all sides. This does tend to put a toll on the user's nin, so this is a nin guzzler. And finally, Ru, if I'm pronouncing that right, I'm pretty sure I'm not, is a technique that instantly changes from Ken to Ko and allows them to concentrate then disperse aura quickly, making them balance of attack and defense. So yeah, that's all I had to talk about for today about the beauty of nin, what I subjectively and arguably objectively say is the best power system in shonen period. Now y'all may have different opinions on what's the best, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people can agree with me on this because it's so well explained and executed, at least to me it is. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video because I had a lot of fun making this personally. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys subscribe and like this video to support your boy. But anyways, it's been your boy Dude About Boy. I'm out.